Mabuhay, this is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea, talking about dating today. If dating is hard, then you're normal. So I'm going to read from an article from Psychology Today by somebody named Caitlin Cantor, a new person that I have will be talking about here today. And then when I'm done with this part, I will have an announcement to make at the end of this video for real that I never thought I would have to say, but I just don't want to seem deceptive or be deceptive to anyone who follows this channel. 3 hard truths about dating. My channel is Love Beyond the Sea. And please subscribe and leave a comment here about dating. I know that I dated like, I can't say I dated. I tried to date for a long time, like 30 years before I met my wife. And it was hard to find anybody that seemed like they were serious about a relationship, anybody I wanted. So I worked a lot and tried to keep occupied, which is always a good idea. And then when you actually find somebody somehow to go out with, well, that doesn't mean it's going to be real smooth sailing. There are key points here is you might have fun times when you're dating, but for the most part, dating is work. And I tend to have articles that I agree with that resonate with me. I agree with that point. They also say no one is going to tell you they're emotionally unavailable on a first date or ever. So let's get into this. We all know that dating is hard. I hope everyone knows that. But sometimes we unknowingly make it harder than it has to be. One way we do that is by having unrealistic expectations. People often have idealistic, romanticized expectations of dating that differ drastically from reality. When they start dating and have difficult experiences, they feel disappointed and worry that something is wrong. This makes dating harder and more painful than it needs to be. When you have realistic expectations for dating, you eliminate disappointment and inner turmoil, making it much easier to continue. Dating is a marathon, not a sprint. You want to make it sustainable so that you don't burn out. They say that an example of how your expectations impact your experience. Imagine you're at the gym, decide to run 5 miles, you're in okay shape, so you expect to be able to bang it out with no problem. 1 mile in, you're struggling so much you have to stop. You don't know why it's that hard, and you're beating yourself up for being weak and out of shape. You leave the gym feeling terrible about yourself. Now imagine the same scenario, except you expect that 5 miles is going to be difficult. You expect it. You're not a runner. You've always hated running. You know you won't be able to run 5 miles without stopping a lot. You get started, you pace yourself, you walk when you need to, and that day you only do 2 miles. You know it will be hard, so you're not disappointed in yourself. You know you have a baseline for where you are, and you leave the gym ready to try again next time to see if you can go a little bit further. So they talk about the difference here being expectations. So one thing they say here of something that's you need to know is, for the most part, dating isn't fun or exciting. You know, there may be fun times. Mostly it's work. And that's true. I'm not going to try and really go into their points on this one because I do want to say something at the end. But, you know, dating, really, you should even talk about, why am I even dating? What's the purpose of dating? I would say it's to get to know someone, to see if they would make you a good marriage partner, whether it's dating somebody overseas, like I did back in 2015, or your next door neighbor. Then you just go at it and know that it's gonna take time. You both are revealing things or choosing what not to reveal. I mean, those first date, maybe even the second, third, fourth they're probably hoping that you don't ask them too many deep questions about themselves, their family history. You get into more serious stuff as you get going, as you're trying to decide if that's someone for you to marry. So you should think about the purpose. Why am I here? If it's just going to be for fun, more than likely he's thinking about sex, and the woman, I don't know what she's thinking about, but it may not go very well. Another thing they say to be aware of is most people you go out with won't be right for you. You have to kiss a lot of frogs, they say, before you find your person. That's the nature of online dating and modern dating in general. There'll be way more wrong fits than right fits. Another thing here, people lie. That's why it's hard work and not always fun, because people lie. No one is going to tell you they're emotionally unavailable, they say here, or that they're a pathological liar on a first date or ever. People put their best foot forward in the beginning. Unfortunately, their best foot is not necessarily an accurate picture of who they are. For example, they say a friend recently ended things with a guy she was dating because she wanted a commitment, but he didn't. And she was angry because when they first met, she told him she was looking for something serious, and that he said he was too. But as it turned out, he really wasn't serious. He was satisfied having someone to talk to, hang out with, and have sex with without any strings attached. He hadn't been in a relationship for many years and likely won't be in one in any time soon. But those sort of disappointments can happen. So again, for the most part, they say, and I agree with, dating isn't fun or exciting. You really have to stick with it. Number two, most people you go out with won't be right for you. But look, I'll add that you might not know that until you do go out with them. And people lie, which is why I like to talk so much about being open and honest with each other. And so what I want to say here, because it kind of has to do with my channel, my wife and I have not been together for a while, not by my choice. I would never want her anywhere else than with me. But for a long time now, about 3 months, she has, I guess, decided to try to embark on her own. And when she gets a house, that will be as sure a thing as ever that she's moving on and getting a new life started. And I didn't, chase her out. I would never do that. And there's nothing I can do about this. Now, again, maybe if I had thought of some questions that usually you don't ask, then maybe that saves or spares the relationship, or maybe I wouldn't have married her, or maybe she wouldn't have married me. But again, when you go into it, you don't, unless you're forced to, and even then you could lie, there may be some things that you just aren't going to know. But here's what I say. When you are married, and we are married, and I think we will stay married as far as I know. She's not interested in my money. She's not interested in another man. And I think it's what I can't give her. But we don't have discussions about our relationship because it takes two to do that. So I don't know what's going on with her, but I do want everyone to know, I, as the husband, like I've always said, you take responsibility for your marriage. So that's me. Now, that doesn't mean that I caused all the problems or difficulties, but as the husband, I have to find the solutions. And I might have the solutions, and she might not be interested in those solutions, or she might not want to talk. And so we get nowhere. Many of you probably can relate to this. So we're still married. I can't say we're together. There's no animosity. There's no hatred on her part. So maybe someday she comes back. What I can do is make sure that I leave the door open, okay? And don't burn this bridge that we started 9 years ago. That's the best I can do. So I'm going to have to just love a little bit differently and under different circumstances now with my love beyond the sea.